Hey guys, I'm Mike Goldstein, and we've got the lovely, the beautiful Helena Hart here.
Hey everyone, I'm so excited to be here.
Yes!
This is so much fun. So excited to be here. Oh, where are we hearing that from?
Let me turn that off.
Okay, we're just getting situated.
Let me turn that off.
Oh, we need to turn your volume down over here.
I got it. Problem resolved. I swear we've done this before. We're professionals.
Yeah.
Guys, today's topic, which I'm so excited about, is how to inspire a man to feel you in his heart. And we've got literally the perfect person to dive into this. If you guys don't know, Helena is like one of my best friends, and she's been a dating, love coach, relationship coach for I don't even know how many years, but I've definitely seen her blossom over the last 2-3 years since I've known her. And she is amazing. And not only is she able to help us with advice, and we're going to do a he said, she said today, where we'll have the man and the woman providing, what's going on here, but she just embodies this stuff. And if you stick around long enough, I'm probably going to tell you some stories about our own lives where Helena is like the queen of making me feel safe to be myself. And so I think not only is she going to provide advice, but she lives that life.
Oh my gosh. I'm a little nervous now. I don't know what stories you're going to tell, but I'm excited. So we're also going to be answering your questions too, you guys. So let us know where you're watching from in the chat. Oh, thank you everyone for saying hello. We got a good looking guy in the next room.
Oh yeah.
Letting us know the sound is okay. So thank you for that. And we're so excited to dive in.
Yeah,
it's a really important topic.
Absolutely. Mm-hmm. Yeah, we're going to dive in. But guys, feel free, ask us anything under the sun. We're going to come back to a lot of the questions, but if it's relevant to what we're talking about, we're going to try to do it live.
Yeah.
All right. So Helena, since we've got you here, how to inspire a man to feel you in his heart? Where do you see women struggling with this?
Yeah, great question. I mean, something I always say, this is kind of the theme that we'll probably keep coming back to over and over when, throughout the course of this video. But something I always say is the way to connect to a man's heart is always through your own heart first, right? It is just the only way. So to answer your question, if you are up in your head strategizing, trying to mentally figure out how to connect with a man's heart and make him fall in love or commit to you or anything like that, you're actually blocking his ability to get close to you, right? If you're cut off from your own heart, your own feminine energy, a man, he might find you attractive, right? He might want to chase you and pursue you a little bit at the beginning, but if he can't feel who you are, if he can't get to you emotionally, he eventually will kind of back off and start to fade away. And of course, there's a right and a wrong way to do this. So to answer this is kind of a long-winded answer.
No, you're doing good.
Okay. If you think you have to be perfect, if you think you have to put your best foot forward and never make a mistake and kind of walk on eggshells with a guy, that cuts you off from this amazing universe you have inside of you, this feminine energy, kind of juicy side that's really unique to you as a woman and as a human being. You want to be in touch with that. So if you think you have to be perfect and paste a fake smile on your face when you're not feeling good or pretend anything, a man's going to feel that. Men are really, really sensitive to this. They're going to pick that up right away, and it's going to block his ability to get close to you and feel you in his heart. And I'd love to hear your take on all of this as a man too.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's so spot on.
Mm-hmm.
As a man, I totally get bored if a woman's not being confident and really more vulnerable. I put vulnerability and confidence as synonyms.
Yeah, me too. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. But the exciting part is the vulnerability, right? When a woman says, hey, this is what I'm feeling, hey, I'm anxious and because of X, Y, Z. And now it's well, how do I want to, as the man, protect her and, solve that and help her. So when I notice that something's maybe being triggered by her, I want to help her. You had this amazing story that we were talking about 5 minutes ago. Yeah, I'm going to put you on the spot. Do you remember that when you were being vulnerable on a date? Can you tell that story? Because I think it's so helpful.
Oh, yes. I was telling, when we were preparing for this, I almost wish we were filming us preparing for this because we were sharing stories about just different experiences we've had. I remember one time, a while back, I was with someone and we were watching a movie and it was a sad movie. Is it this one? Is this the one you're talking about? Okay. And I ended up like crying during the movie, like just a little bit. He couldn't really see. And at the end of it, he was like, "Oh, did that get to you a little bit?" And I was like, "Yeah." And I hadn't like cried in front of him or been open like that. And it just kind of broke something open in me. And I ended up just saying something like, gosh, sometimes I just feel so insecure, or I'm so tired of feeling insecure all the time, or something alluding to the fact that I can feel insecure sometimes, like we all can, right? And rather than that pushing him away, I remember him saying, "Oh, tell me more about that." Like, "Oh, I feel that way too. We all feel that way." And it was like a window into my psychology or my personality or something, like a window into my heart that he was really interested in. He's like, "Oh, tell me more about that." And wow, I can really relate. And here's all the reasons why you shouldn't feel insecure. Or here's why that can help you connect to more people. And it was like this really amazing conversation. It just cracked the whole thing open, and it really like deepened the intimacy. And I remember we were telling this story. You said something like, when a woman can be confident enough to talk about the times when she doesn't feel confident, rather than, you said something like, "I like it when she voices it rather than it just showing in her trying to cover that up." Right?
Yeah, I mean, that story, like, total flip of that story is a woman did basically the same thing, where she pretty much shut down during a date, where she just, like, I could tell she just went into her head, was not present in the moment. And I was talking to her and she seemed upset and maybe even like started crying. And, you know, as a man, like, I'm words of appreciation, and I'm like, I really want someone to be enjoying themselves when they're with me.
Mm-hmm.
That's my thing. Like, I want you to be happy. And she's upset. And so I'm thinking, like, what did I do wrong? Like, did I mess this date up? And I'm going inside my head now, like, you know, I want her to have fun. Like, when you're with me, you have fun.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, eventually, like 2 months later, she explained to me what was actually happening, like something in her personal life that she didn't feel like sharing. But it really could have been like this amazing opportunity for us to bond if she would have been vulnerable and said, "Hey, this is what's going on with my family."
Mm-hmm.
And then I could have been involved in it, and I could have been supporting her and just felt more connected to her. But instead, I felt like totally detached. Like, am I wasting my time on this date? Like, should we not even be here?
Mm-hmm.
And so it went the total opposite direction.
Yeah, I think men can kind of take a lot of things as like a correction or a criticism, because like Mike said, they just want to make us happy. They want us to be having fun. So if you're shut down, they can often take it personally. And it's not about being perfect with this. We can all be shut down emotionally at times, myself included. I can be moody and irritable just like anybody, you know? And so it's not about just being perfect and doing this right all the time. It's kind of like the journey, and I'm on the journey to becoming more of myself and feeling confident enough to show a man that and be vulnerable and create these little moments of intimacy. That's how to, you know, inspire a man to feel you in his heart. So hopefully this is making sense. Any questions you guys have, let us know too.
So I love this. Like, it's kind of like evolved. So like Helena's like, all right, as the female, I'm going to be vulnerable.
Mm-hmm.
And due to that, he's going to start feeling safe to kind of be vulnerable too. Because like, as we know, like men, we're not so great at sharing our emotions. Because, you know, as kids, it was like, you don't cry, like, be tough, you're a man. And now, like, as adults, we're like, wait a second, sharing emotions is cool. It's the coolest.
Yeah, we were talking about that before we started. It's kind of like the edge of masculine development these days, at least, because obviously men were kind of programmed or even brainwashed. You could think of it growing up, getting this programming of like, it's not safe to open up. It's not masculine to be vulnerable. It's not okay to cry or to show your emotional side. And so, you know, men are going through the world, you know, trying to achieve things, and that's all great, you know, but if you can be that one safe space for a man where he can open up and be vulnerable and be intimate, you're likely going to be one of the only people in the whole world that he can do that with, if not the only person. It's not like guys are, you know, crying with their with their guy friends or sharing things that are super vulnerable often. I mean, sometimes that's the case, but most of the time, it takes a woman. Women a lot of times are more connected to themselves in this way. They are deeper and more conscious than men most of the time. I think we're connected to ourselves in a way that men can only get connected to through us. So they need us a lot of times to go first in this arena, and then they feel safe, they feel comfortable, and that's how the intimacy starts to build. That's been my experience, at least. Let me know what you guys think too. Let us know in the chat or in the comments if you're watching the replay.
Absolutely. So, you know, to connect this back, how to inspire a man to feel you in his heart So it's like being vulnerable as the woman, then making it safe for him to be vulnerable, and then we build connection. So I want to tell a story about like how women in my life have been vulnerable and allowed me to kind of come out. So in terms of like a man, like, and we compartmentalize this, right? We go to work every day and we're like in super serious mode, and we have trouble getting into playful mode, right? Mm-hmm. And so, especially if you go on a date during the week, it's like serious mode, and then you get on the date and it's just like you're having this interview. Well, how do we get to the guy to playful mode so that we can actually get into his heart? Well, we need to kind of like chisel away at this hard structure of a man and make him playful. And that becomes by being playfully yourself. So here's the example.
Mm-hmm. I love this one. It's so good.
I'm telling a different one. Okay. Anyway, so I'm new to LA and I want to make friends. And I started going to these like spiritual classes that were like around meditation and all these things. And one of them this week was a tantric sex class. So I'm like, beautiful. I'm going to learn how to have sex better. Like, that's a perfect topic. Of course, I'm like half a bonehead. And if it's about sex, that means there's not going to be that many women there. So there was a ton of men at tantric sex class. So ladies, if you're wondering where to meet men, a lot of men at that class. Anyway, so I'm driving to LA and I'm headed to this apartment and I'm having trouble finding it. And all of a sudden I see what I then find out to be the instructor. She's in the doorway. And, you know, most people just be like, hey, like, you're here. This is the spot. She's not doing that. This woman is just dancing. She's having a great time. She's like, oh, yeah, here we go. Tantric sex class. So I'm like, well, I guess this is it. Mm-hmm. So I head up there and I'm still in super serious mode because I was just working all day. And I'm like, hi, I'm Mike. And she's like, do you really want to shake my hand? She's like, or do you want a hug? And she's an attractive woman. I'm like, why am I suppressing my manhood right now? I do want a hug. I love that. So I gave her a hug. I love it. And she said, welcome. Thank you for coming to class. Mm-hmm. And it was so beautiful. I'm like, what is wrong with me? Like, stop being serious. Like, this is supposed to be fun. You paid for this to have fun. Like, sex should be fun. It shouldn't be like, well, here we go. It should be fun. And she started to get playfulness out of me. And now I wanted to be more vulnerable instead of like, man, I'm super nervous. I've never done this before.
Totally. As I'm sure most of the men there were feeling like that. So that is great. That is great. Mike was giving me other examples that were awesome of other, you know, dates and situations she's had in relationships where a woman was playful and it helped him go, oh, I can just have fun and be myself. I don't have to like be so worried about putting on this facade or putting my best foot forward. And so it's across the board. So I love that. That was a great story.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Any additions to that?
I think as we go along, we can share some more examples and stuff. I feel like I'm getting ahead of myself because I feel like the answers to these questions kind of all relate to each other. So yeah, let us know what you guys think too in the chat. We already have a question from someone. It looks like I can't read it. Right, every time we look over here, we're
all right. Let's do Donna's question. And guys, thanks for joining us on a Friday. I love you, Donna. If I didn't share emotions often with a man and he left the relationship, is there any chance he will come back?
Is that the reason why he left the relationship, Donna, or was there something else? It depends. You know, it depends on the situation. It's possible, you know, men do tend to come back around. As a lot of people watching, they tend to come back around. So if that's the reason why he left, but there could be lots of reasons why he left. It could be you were leaning a little forward into your masculine energy and that pushed him away. He could just be busy working on something else. He could have met somebody and there's lots of reasons why a man pulls away. It's not necessarily because you weren't sharing emotions, but when he does come back around, try it, see what happens. If he does, right? If he doesn't, he can't possibly be the right man for you. So don't beat yourself up over that.
Yeah. I mean, I've always kind of come from a mindset of moving forward. Mm-hmm. So like if a man leaves, like, why do you want that mm-hmm. man at that point? Like, mm-hmm. so he's made the decision that he doesn't choose you. Mm-hmm. And, you know, maybe you're, you know, looking inside yourself and saying, hey, I did something wrong. But I wouldn't do that. I would say, all right, this guy didn't happen to choose me. Of course, maybe there's some things you can work on, and feel free to go work on them, but don't blame yourself. Like, you're probably a fantastic person, and there is a lid for every pot the way you are. But yeah, you can go work on some of your stuff. And, you know, I've got millions of things to work on too, of course. I work on my stuff. And then now that you're this, maybe a new evolved, you know, version 2.0, well, maybe you're not even compatible with that guy anymore because you're version 2.0 now. So now you go find a new wonderful man that appreciates you for, maybe you didn't change that much at all, just appreciates what you are. And instead of some guy that's like, do I want to be with her? Do I want to leave? Okay, I'm leaving. It's just like, wow, Donna is like fantastic. She's amazing. I want to be with her. I couldn't imagine my life without her. Like, wouldn't you rather be around the guy that's like, man, you are fantastic. I love you. Like, let's, like, forget the guy that leaves you. Like, who wants that?
I love that answer so much. Yes. And we see this all the time. I mean, on my YouTube channel, every day I get dozens and dozens of comments just like that. Don't beat yourself up over that. Just take it as a learning experience. Maybe do something different another time. But yeah, if a guy is gone, most often he's gone because he's supposed to be gone. He's just making room for a better man to step in. So yeah, last thing you want to do is blame yourself or beat yourself up.
So do we want to keep moving or answer one more question? What do you think, Helena?
Totally up to you, whatever you want to do.
All right, we'll do one more.
Okay.
And guys, keep the questions coming. We're going to hop back in here and bounce around, and don't mind the ADD. We're going to try to accommodate.
There's like so much going on over here. I wish you guys could see this.
We have a lot of monitors.
Computer. I like don't know where to look. I don't know what to do. I'm like all anxious. It's so funny. Yeah, go ahead. Whatever you want to, whatever questions you want to take now.
I can't pronounce this name, but Cassie, I'm guessing. Cassie, can I call you Cassie? Is that all right? You can correct me. I'm sorry. How to best communicate that you do not want the guy you've been dating for several months to keep in touch with the girls he once dated without sounding demanding?
Ooh.
I just got asked that today. That is such a perfect question. Do you want to go first?
Go ahead. If you have it fresh in your mind.
Actually, you answered it earlier.
I did?
It was you want me to repeat what you said? So it's important that you express your feelings to him. That's not demanding. It's like, when you spend time with this person, it makes me feel X. And you're not saying like, don't do it. You're not shaming him. Being like, I want you to be happy. You know, maybe open with that. Like, I want you to be happy. I want you to be yourself. Like, I know you're a man. I accept you for who you fully are.
I trust you. Okay?
I trust you explicitly. Like, I know you never cheated on me. Like, I've got your back. You're fabulous. But with that being said, when you go spend time with this person, I feel X. And, you know, that's not your thing. That's my thing. This is how I feel. And as a man, he should honor your feelings, right? But more so, like, what men, we're really programmed to do, and what our lives are like comprised of, is we're action and we're fixers. So once we hear like, hey, you're feeling X, we're like, we want to fix that. So
if they're the right guy, if they're a good masculine guy who's that's the kind of guy you want, right? Who wants to fix it.
If he, you know, doesn't care about your feelings, you know, that's another thing. But if he's like, I would like to fix this, then you can start, you know, coming up with some ideas. And he can, you know, what if I did X? Would X work for you? And so if you present it that way, and that you trust him, and because that is the big thing. Like, the moment he feels like he's not trusted, like, oh, I'm not allowed to go over there because you think I'm going to sleep with her, he's out. He's in defense mechanism, and it'll be the worst conversation ever, and you guys are going to fight. I promise you. You tell a man, and I've had this happen to me where, you know, and I know, like, I would never cheat on anyone ever. So if you ever tell me you don't trust me, I get angry because I know that that's not in my wheelhouse of things I do. And so then it needs to go
totally.
Down.
I mean, that's exactly what I said. You're right. I remember now. Yeah. You're explaining your feelings. Like, basically you're okay. I trust you, but I can't help but feel insecure sometimes when I see this or when this happens. And the right guy should understand that and want to take your feelings into account when he's making decisions. Or maybe so now you're on the same team. Now he might say, okay, would you prefer to be with me when we spend time together, or what, you know, then it's more of a conversation where you're on the same team, not, opposing sides. You can't do this. And then he's saying, well, you don't trust me, right? You're facing the problem together head on rather than opposing each other.
Yeah, that's so important. If you're not on the same team, the discussion might as well just like, you need a timeout or you need to reset if you're not on the same team. So I love that. Thank you.
Yeah.
Guys, we're going to hop back over here and then we'll be back to answer some more questions, but keep asking them. We will try to get to all of them. So our today's topic is how to inspire a man to feel you in his heart. What effect does this have on men and why is this important from what we were talking about earlier?
I mean, I'd love to hear your take on this as a man, but from my perspective, my experience, what I hear from clients, what I hear from all the amazing women in my community over on my YouTube channel is men feel like it's safe for them to open up and be vulnerable, right? And that's what creates the intimacy. That's what creates that deep bond where he just sees you as that one woman that he never really wants to live without because he just feels so safe and comfortable being himself. Something, you know, I've said before in other videos, if you guys have seen some of my videos, is when a man sees that you accept yourself, when you love, embrace, accept all the different parts of yourself, even the parts that don't feel so good, like when you don't feel confident sometimes, when you feel a little insecure or angry or something like that, on a deep sort of unconscious level, a man, he gets the sense that, oh, she loves herself. She accepts all of her feelings. That's how I know that she's going to accept me and my feelings, because men have lots of insecurities. So a lot of them have very low self-esteems, right? So, you know, when they see that a woman accepts herself, she's not judging herself, she's not beating herself up, she feels comfortable expressing things to him in a way that doesn't make him wrong or hold him responsible for her feelings. That's how he knows that it's safe for him to open up, because she's going to accept him and hold that space and not constantly make him wrong or make it all about her and the relationship. Does that make sense?
Oh my God. That was like the biggest gold nugget. I want to repeat what I heard, and what resonated most with me as a man is you made it safe for him to not feel wrong. I cannot tell you how huge that is. The moment I feel like, all right, so maybe the first few dates, I'm like a little, you know, maybe men are like kind of on their best behavior. Like we're getting to know each other. We're being ourselves, but we're not like giving you all of it. We're not, you know, dumping on the fact like, you know, some men, and ladies, you've been on this date where the guy's like, oh, I got divorced and she took the car and the house and I hate her. And like, we're not dumping everything on you. But imagine like the man that eventually you really like does feel safe to dump all that stuff on you. And instead of being like, oh, like, can I be with this guy based on like, he messed that one up. But instead like accepting him, being like, yeah, you know, marriages are tough. Sometimes it goes wrong. Sometimes divorces happen. And like, I've got your back. The more he feels safe to do that opening up, the more he drives closer to you. And the moment he doesn't feel safe to that stuff, he's like, really, I don't trust her. I don't trust her with my heart. And then it just eventually, that's the beginning of the end. Because if he doesn't trust you, as we know, relationships need trust. See you later.
Yeah, absolutely. Love that. Love hearing your guys' perspective on that, because I can say that all I want, but it's so great for you guys to hear this from Mike. So yeah, awesome. I love it.
Gold nugget, Helena Hart, the queen. Let's go. All right, let's answer some more questions. Hi from San Diego. Hello. Ooh, things are moving. Sorry, guys. Jilly Brains. Sweet name, love it. How do you balance working on a project with someone? We're both creative freelancers with starting a relationship with an awesome guy. I'm confused. Is the person you're working with the guy that you're dating?
I can't see that far away, the question. That's what it sounds like.
So how do you balance working on a project with someone with starting a relationship with an awesome guy? So you're dating, or you're freelancing, working with one guy and then dating?
Sounds like she's with the guy she's doing the project with.
Okay, so same guy.
Yeah.
All right, what do you think?
That's a tough one. That's a tough one. What do you think about that? I'd love to hear your perspective. I would love to hear more about your situation. Like, how are things going in general? Do you feel like you step into your masculine territory and tell him what to do sometimes? Does that like mess up the romance? Or I'd love to hear like the dynamic, what's going on right now. Do you have any tips for just in general?
Yeah, I mean, I think relationships, friendships, they're all somewhat similar. Like even working with family members.
Mm-hmm.
Like for example, I'm working with someone to publish a book right now, and he's my ghostwriter. It'll be out, guys, in a few number of months. Anyway, he's a family member that he's a genius. He's been published like probably 20 times. He went to Columbia. Smart guy, and the guy you'd want to be ghostwriting, but it's a family member. So the key to these things is actually documenting what your boundaries are. So kind of like a relationship or a marriage, or in this case, a business. It's like making up rules for, first of all, like how all the money works, how you see this work and how they're not going to mesh together. Like, well, this part's the business side, and this is how we're running the business in terms of time spent, in terms of what's expected to be done. And then in terms of our relationship, well, we're going to have these for date nights. We're going to try to communicate this way. And also, like, to her point, inside the business, like, what are we doing in terms of communication style? What do we prefer? Like, is the woman going to fully lean back and let him be in his masculine? Is he going to be CEO mode, getting things done? Or is she going to be, or maybe he's a feminine masculine guy and she's the masculine feminine where she's CEO.
Mm-hmm.
Like, what's the dynamic? What's the preference? What feels safe for both people? What things rub them wrong? So it's kind of actually just taking the time to write out all the questions you have, all the ways you can think of that could cause conflict, filling that out for yourself. Then he fills it out, and then coming together on like a date night. And it's kind of fun where you really get to know each other, and it really is an intimate date where then you, answer those questions again.
Great. Yeah. And maybe having time. I think she wrote a little bit more about her situation. If that's the same person. It's so hard for me to see that far away, but having time where you talk about other things. We're going, after 6 o'clock, we don't talk about work. If you guys live together, if you're like in a relationship. Did she say anything else?
Yeah, it is the same guy. The freelancer is the guy she's dating. So you were right.
Yeah. I'm trying to think about, I don't have a lot of experience with that. I have experience working with like my best friends. It's like, how do we navigate that? Just kind of flows, but I know it's totally different when it's like a romantic thing and you're trying to be feminine. Yeah. I think having the boundaries set out, like Mike said, just asking him, like, would you like it? Like, how would you like to see this go? Would you like me to do this? I want to do this. And at the same time, I don't want to step into that masculine territory. If that's something you want to take care of, I'm kind of inviting total transparency and like straightforward communication. Don't just assume and, back away from it because you're assuming. Just ask him, I would just ask him.
Absolutely. And I would try to be proactive as much as you can in terms of coming up with the things that are important and documenting this. Because think about in relationships and in dating, what we tend to do is we get in a fight and all right, we realize this is a problem and now let's figure out the solution. Mm-hmm. But it'd be so much better if we spent time and had an intimate date where we documented how we see things. Like, are we going to be cleanly? Like, do we show up on time to things? Are we late? What's our communication style? If we fight, is screaming aloud? Like all these things that you document up front. So then when things happen, you kind of already have a formula. Okay, so when these things happen, here's our solution. So it's a fun date, but ultimately it's just more strategic. Because if you're not doing any of this stuff, you're just dating whimsically, which is okay. And you might get there, but I don't know. I think this is kind of fun. And it's just more strategic because you end up falling for these people that aren't really compatible. And then all of a sudden you're in a relationship with someone you love and you have this emotional connection, but things aren't really lined up.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. I totally agree. Hopefully, was that helpful at all? I hope that was helpful.
Yeah, sorry if we
I don't know if I'm, yeah.
with no coherent thoughts. All right, let's ask another one. Amelia, Mike said in one of his videos that men want to have laughter, but Helena promote feminine leaning back and receive. How to lean back and be fun and have a fun time with laughter, etc.
Oh, that's such a good question. Nice. Oh my gosh, I'm so glad you asked that. That is great. Yeah, I don't think it has to be either or. I think you can lean back and receive and respond, right? Oh, she said it was helpful. Awesome. Thank you for that. Thanks for we love getting the instant feedback. We should do more of these. This is really fun. okay, you're leaning back, you're receiving. Of course, you can have fun and laugh from that place. There's a difference between you are, letting a man give to you, even just energetically, not jumping in and filling that space constantly in conversation, just leaning back, listening to him, laughing and having fun. Totally a feminine thing. They're not mutually exclusive. I think that is totally feminine. What's not feminine is feeling upset, feeling anxious, then pasting a fake smile on your face and then like pretending to have fun on the date because that's what you think you're supposed to do. So if laughter and fun is authentic to you, it feels good to you, that's what you're feeling in the moment, absolutely, that would be fantastic. I know you have a great story about a date you went on with the cartwheel date.
Oh, yeah.
A good time. But I'm sorry, I don't want to like say something that you don't want to talk about. But
I'll tell it if you want.
Yeah, this is a great example of this.
Yeah, so I was on a first date and I invited her to play soccer and she shows up with like a jump rope and I get there and like she's just like already jumping rope and she's just like bubbly and happy. She's like, I'm jumping rope, having fun. Kind of like this parallel to the story if you guys were here and watched the dancing. I was like, oh, so I can let my guard down. And so once again I was still like in my super serious mode and I was like, all right, let's go like warm up because we're going to go play soccer. So I'm like, all right, high knees, kickbacks. And I'm all like serious, getting warmed up because I take soccer super seriously. And then she's like, all right, dude, like I get it. Want to see a cartwheel? And so then she starts doing cartwheels. And I'm like, oh, that's fun. She's like, I'm going to teach you to do cartwheels. I'm like, yeah, I don't know. I'm pretty huge. We'll try. So then I start like doing cartwheels and falling all over myself. And now like I'm totally out of work mode. And I'm just laughing at myself and we're having a good time. And she's laughing at me. And then we did that for like 15 minutes and we got to know each other a little bit. We're joking and we can see that she's playful and that's like a good energy.
Yeah.
And so that was great.
I thought that was a really good example of just this is what she's doing because she's feeling this way within herself. She's not trying to create a result from him. I think Amelia typed in a little more.
Amelia said, I found myself to be more masculine when making jokes, etc. And I'm really wanting to be in my feminine.
Oh, yeah, that's a great distinction. Yeah, like making jokes, even that language. I'm making a joke. Like, are you trying to create a result? Are you trying to make him laugh? Are you trying to make him see you as a funny, easygoing girl? Or are you joking around because that's just what you feel like doing and it comes naturally? So, like, the feminine energy way to go about things is it's kind of like you just can't help it. You should hear the things that come out of my mouth sometimes. It's like weird and like awkward and just kind of crazy, right? It's just sometimes you just can't help it. You're just like feeling so full within yourself that you have to blurt something out or you make a joke from that place. That's great. Versus I'm going to tell this joke or try to make him laugh because I want him to see me as a funny guy.
You know, I was watching the most interesting, can I interject?
Yeah.
I was watching this documentary on the brain. So I know documentaries aren't always 100% factual, but it seemed pretty legit. Mm-hmm. And they were talking about how the brain functions and what it's capable of doing. And once the system that is looking at either the future or the past is running, it can't do the present. Mm. So you're either in one of these two systems. So if you're doing the present, that one's rocking and rolling and it's sending transmitters to all your body parts and everything, and you're in the present. Or you're thinking about the future or the past. So in this instance, when you're thinking about a joke, like you had to travel into your past to think of the joke, and then you got to hop back to your present. So if you're spending all this time thinking on the date instead of being in the moment listening, well, then you're not in the present. And he's going to feel that. Mm-hmm. And that's kind of being in your feminine, is being in the present and just leaning back and allowing things to happen. And so that's being in the moment, actually genuinely listening. And then once, you know, the conversation takes a breath, now you decide which direction you want to go. Maybe if you're feeling it, like, I want to tell a joke. Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. Love it. Perfect. I think she typed in some more. I'm like trying to read it, but the writing's too small. I love it's what I say all the time is you can't possibly be in your body in the present moment, just responding and up in your head thinking about what to say next at the same time. So that totally just goes along with everything that everything I always say. Were you able to? Did she type in more?
I got some more questions, guys.
Great answers. Love it. Thank you so much. Perfect. Was that the same person? Is that Amelia? Trying to be funny, but also comes a bit natural. Okay. Hopefully that was helpful. It sounds like it was. So.
Jilly Brains, somewhat helpful. If you can direct us with a better question, we'll try to be more helpful. Sorry about that. JB, my boyfriend and I had a disagreement on Monday, and he said something I want to go back to. Has too much time passed by? Is there a max time? I don't want him to get him upset about me not letting it go.
Gosh, that's a great question. That's a great question. I get that all the time. Like, you know, you didn't bring something up. What it sounds like is you didn't bring something up in the moment. Now you want to go back and bring it up again, but you're worried that he's going to be like, just let it go. Do I have that right? Does that sound right?
Yeah.
Do you have any thoughts there?
Yeah. We were just talking about this earlier. As women, you need to be true to your emotions.
Mm-hmm.
And if something's bothering you, you can't bottle it up.
Mm-hmm.
If you bottle it up, we know you're gonna explode at some point, right?
It's gonna come out in a weird way. Yeah.
And so tell them, like, this is how to be in his heart. It's to be vulnerable. It's to be confident. And think about it, a vulnerable, confident woman, she says what's on her mind. And the right guy makes it safe for you. Like, he accepts you for who you are. Now, strategically, it's not an attack, right? Because if we get him on the defensive, this thing's going south. It's a teamwork. You know, I'm feeling X when something happens. When you do this, I feel X. Not, hey, stop doing that. Or when you do this, like, that stinks. Like, you got to stop. It's hurting our relationship. It's just, I feel this. And there's nothing wrong with you. I accept you for who you are. You're amazing. Right?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. If it's blocking your relating to him, JB, if you are feeling something on the inside and it's blocking your relating to him, you have to say something, because he can feel the disconnect. He can feel the tension. He can feel the stuff in the air. So if you're feeling something and you can't be authentic, you can't be yourself or talk about something else with him because you're so upset or irritated or whatever because of what happened, then you can just say, you can even say, just like I said, I want to invite total transparency and straightforward communication with him. So, you know, hey, I feel a little awkward bringing this up. I know this is something that happened last week or whenever it happened, but I'm finding myself still feeling a little sad about this, or I felt bad about the way that conversation went. Is this a good time? Can we talk about this so we can put it behind us? What do you think? And right? Mm-hmm. You want to actually respect his time. Don't do it when, you know, it's the last quarter of the game he's watching or when he's working or something, right? But yeah, I feel bad about the way that went. I want to let it go, but part of me still feels upset. It would feel really good to talk about this and just, you know, finally put it to rest. What do you think? Most guys would. I mean, how would you respond to that as a guy?
You know, I would love it, because you know, like we were talking earlier, if you are we're seeing emotions on you that, or maybe you're not as open with us or you're cold to us, we're thinking, oh, I did something wrong. Mm-hmm. And then we have no clarity on what it is. Mm-hmm. You know, we're not mind readers. We don't know what's wrong. So when you do tell us, we're like, thank you. Mm-hmm. Like, you're giving me the roadmap to, like, actually make you happy. And that's what we're excited about, when we know how to, mm-hmm. you know, be a good partner. If we can't be a good partner, we feel defeated. Mm-hmm. Like, I don't want to be in this relationship because I don't know how to be successful in it. I want to be successful. I want to be happy. I want you to be happy, but I need to know how.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Yeah. So likely, I wish I could read the question a little bit better, but I think, let us know if that was helpful at all. I would say to say something. Guys can feel it. They can pick it up. If you're still upset, if you think that he can't feel that, you are mistaken. Guys can pick up on these things, right? Men are pretty sensitive to the vibe we're giving off. They might not know what's wrong, but if something's wrong, he can probably sense that something's wrong. And it might make him feel like he doesn't want to get close to you. It might make him feel like, just, I don't want to deal with that. And so I'm going to avoid you or not talk to you or not get close. So bringing it up, if you're still feeling a certain way about it, kind of lets it all out. It's like taking a pressure valve off the situation, right?
Yes. Love it. So D. McGee got a guy from 10 years ago, and that time they were intimate quickly, but now he's back 10 years later, and she wants a long-term relationship, and he is trying to have sex right now. What do you think she should do, or do you want me to answer?
I can answer. Does she wants a relationship? He just wants to have sex, or does he want a relationship too?
Based on what she said, we don't know if he wants a long-term relationship. D, do you know if he wants a long-term relationship? Are we not sure yet?
Yeah, something you can say is, yeah, it would feel incredible. I would love to have sex with you. It felt so good, the last time we were together, if they were intimate before. For me, that's something that I feel comfortable doing within the context of an exclusive relationship, or whatever it is, that the being sexually exclusive, whatever it is you need there in order to be in place, just letting him know. Did she write in something else?
He said he is not sure if he wants a relationship. He's been texting and flirting via text, but no second date yet.
Okay. Yeah, if he goes to move things forward physically, just let him know how great it feels being with him. And that's something you're looking forward to. And in order for you to be comfortable doing that, here are the things that need to be in place, whatever that is for you. That could look like a whole bunch of different things. What do you think about that one, Mike?
Yeah, I mean, I'm going to be real. Like, so first of all, her advice is fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that's how you do it. The formula is like don't reject them.
Right.
You're amazing. I do want to have sex, but I don't do it until. So it's like appreciation boundary. I don't do it until.
If that's what feels true to you, that's what it sounds like.
If that's authentic. Yeah. But like as a man, I'm reading this and like my bullshit meter just like was like dinging. And I'm like, all right, he's only been on one date. He's like, I don't want a relation. I may not want a relationship, but I want to have sex. Like, all right, buddy. I mean, we still need to approach it the exact way Helena said, because even though my bullshit meter is going, like, we still need to give him benefit of the doubt, right? So we say the same thing she said, hey, I'm really looking forward to having sex with you one day, but I don't do that until I'm in a relationship. And when we do have sex, it's going to be freaking fireworks, as we have experienced 10 years ago. And maybe I've learned some things since then.
No, I love that. I didn't know he didn't want a relationship. I thought she wasn't sure. And so, if you guys were intimate before, he might think, hey, we're just going to pick back up where we left off. We've done it before. There's that comfort level. You can't really knock him for trying. Guy's going to try. You can't blame him for trying. So you don't want to, extend your boundaries out so far. You want to say, hey, that would feel incredible. And here's what I would need in place in order for that to happen.
And what I'm also really curious about is like, well, why doesn't he want a relationship? Because if you guys were intimate 10 years ago, he probably knows you a bit. Mm-hmm. And is there something that, he's looking for in a partner? One, does he just, period, I don't do relationships anymore, or I'm not looking for a relationship. And the second piece is the thing, if he is looking for a relationship, he wants this. Is there something that maybe doesn't align with who you are and what that is? Mm-hmm. And, once again, all of this should be about you qualifying him. Like every woman that's watching this is the queen of the castle right here. And as the queen, like these guys, they only get let in the castle if they, fit the bill. And, if you're looking for an LTR, as you wrote, long-term relationship, and he's not looking for that, well, then he doesn't fit your criteria. And so it's, hard stop, see you later. So let's get curious with him, not rejecting what he is. Like, that's fine. Like, if you don't want a relationship, that's beautiful. I love your honesty, and that's your truth. But why don't you explain that to me?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, is that her? Yes, that's what he said. Pick back up where he left off. Yep, I knew it. I know. I love it when I predict exactly what the guy is going to say or said. Yeah. So I was wondering if he doesn't want a relationship.
Period. Said, or just with him.
Yeah. So just feel it out. Like you said, he didn't ask you on a second date. I believe if he doesn't keep pursuing you, you don't have to worry about it. There's your answer right there, right?
Mm-hmm. Did you see a question?
Let's see. JB said something.
Oh, here. It's closer.
Yeah. Oh, that's much easier.
You see that? Look at that. She's like, oh, that's so much easier. She's already making me feel needed. My other videos. I feel like I'm doing something.
I just naturally am that way. Oh my God, that was so helpful. You both made my Friday. Oh, you're welcome, JB. I'm glad that was helpful. She said, someone ask your question. This one right here. Again. Where is it? I'm so with Mike on the BS. LOL. So funny. Where was that one? Did we miss any questions, you guys? If we missed your question, just type it in again. It's really hard for us to see with everything going on right now.
Sorry, we have a lot of screens.
We have a lot going on over here.
Hey guys, I'm Jeannie. Hi, Jeannie. I've learned so much from you both.
Oh,
thank you. Appreciate that. I'm 58, divorce in progress, dating after a 30-year marriage. Scary for sure. Yes, it is. Take your time, enjoy I mean, if you can, divorce sucks. Enjoy the process as much as you can. Enjoy discovering who you are now that you're not in this relationship, which I think is really exciting. Like, I think everyone watching this has went through tough breakups, I'm sure. And it's like you had your life with this person, and now it's like, wait a second, who am I by myself? And then you're like, ooh, I like to do X, and I don't need to do Y anymore because that person's not here. And it's really a fun discovery. So just enjoy that and bask in it. And then when you're feeling like, man, I freaking rock, I'm fabulous, then, you can hop back out there and go find, another fabulous person to be fabulous together.
Yeah. I'm so glad that that you're actually in such a good place. There's no urgency. It's not like you need to meet a guy in 6 months and start having babies, or like you're at the perfect place. Have fun, enjoy yourself. Should we talk about if anyone wants to work with us? Because you're like, that's the perfect, that's, I don't know for sure if this is true, but I think a lot of women that Mike works with are in that place. They are, maybe coming out of a long-term relationship. They're like back in the dating scene. They're like, oh my gosh, there's texting, there's online dating, there's all these things I've never dealt with before. That's like the age of the hookup culture. And how do you navigate that and find people that are actually looking for something serious and long-term? So yeah, anything you want to say on that?
Yes. So this is like my bread and butter, our bread and butter. So in case you guys didn't know, we're bringing the dream team together for coaching. So I have a 6-month coaching program. Helena has a 6-month coaching program, and we just marinated them together. And mine is historically known for taking single women or people in relationships and making them into a perfect relationship. But if you're coming out of divorce, multiple divorces, and now it's like, holy crap, what is this online dating thing? I'm known as the #1 online dating expert in the country. I get 83% of clients into relationships.
Highest success rate in the whole country.
Yeah, let's go.
See, they're always so humble. I'm like, no, you're like, he's the guy. He is the guy for getting you into a relationship. Absolutely.
Thanks, Helena. Yeah. And the reason like we've got such a succinct system is we built this over 10 years ago, but I partner with Match, OkCupid, and eHarmony to use their data. So if you're like, I don't even know what the heck online dating is, or if you have done it and you're like, this stinks, it does stink if you don't know what you're doing. So once you learn how to do it the right, well, not the right way, but a more efficient way, you're actually going to love it and start going on great dates. Just to remove some fear of what's happening online dating, you only need to do a week and a half of online dating, and you're only going to go on 1 date a week. And we're going to repeat this so you meet about 6 to 8 guys to find someone you like. So the days of going on 20, 50 dates, that's over. Just 6 to 8 men with a succinct system, only spending an hour and a half a week. And then on top of that, then we need the queen here, Helena.
You're so nice. By the way, the ones you're going to go on dates with are ones you actually like and are excited about based on Mike's amazing system. It's not like you have to go on dates with guys you don't want to go out with. Please don't do that, just for anyone watching. If you don't end up working with us, just, don't just go through the motions. That's not going to help you. You've got to really do this the right way and start off on the right foot. So yeah, what were you going to say?
That's a great point.
Yeah.
Let me include the numbers of that. So we're looking to basically get you 12 options a week. And so from those 12 options, you're going to select one guy to go on a date from 12. And then we repeat that 6 to 8 times. So that's why the dates are a little more enjoyable, because it's a little more strategic and a little more, narrowed down to someone that makes sense.
You get to choose from. It's just such a great system. Yeah. Go watch Mike's free webinar. I'm like turning this into something else. Mike, I don't think you put that link in the description, but Mike has an amazing free webinar on this system. If you guys haven't seen it yet, definitely go check that out.
Yeah. If you guys want it, just put a comment and I'll make sure to respond with the link. But yes, we are now joining forces for amazing coaching to get people into amazing relationships. So if you're already in a relationship, you want to make it better, us. If you are single and want to get in an amazing relationship, once again, boom. So 6-month program, and we're going to make it happen. Most of our clients that are single get into a relationship in about 3 to 4 months. And then after the 6 months, you'll be in an amazing relationship. But to ensure that you don't bumble it up, we then have group coaching with our amazing group of women to, keep it moving, keep the progress going, keep the spark alive, so you're still having dates, still having wonderful sex, still having intimacy, still having quality time. That link is the top comment right now. So if you go down there, or if you click the description, I have it on the top too. And all you're going to do is set up a phone call with me. It'll be a 15-minute phone call. Just want to make sure you qualify. And then once we're like, man, this is the most amazing woman and I can't wait to work with her. Then what we'll do is an 1.5-hour phone call on Zoom, see each other, really have an intimate interaction. And then we'll sign up for the package and we'll take care of you guys and start the whole process and onboard you and get everything rocking and rolling. And of course, if you need pictures, I have a professional photographer company that sources that. I take care of everything for you. White glove experience, don't worry about a thing. We got you.
Executive package. So that's so you. I love it. Yes. Mike is totally, you're in the best hands with him. And then you get to work with me too. It's actually the only way to work with me. I get requests every day. I don't do private coaching on my own anymore. It's the only way. I just want to focus all my attention just on these amazing women that we're going to be working with. So yeah, anyone's interested, click the link in the description.
And you can't fail when you have the dream team. Come on, let's go. Oh, there's more questions. I'm going to get my phone. Guys, let's answer some questions.
Yeah.
Oh, there's a lot.
If we missed any from the top, we can't see the ones that are up at the top. So if you asked a question, we didn't get to it, type it in again. Just copy paste it and we'll get to it.
How do you create the right emotional connection and trust with someone who's asking for more? And then she wrote LDR. I'm guessing that's long distance relationship.
Asking for more, like he wants more in terms of what? In terms of your emotion, in terms of your effort, commitment? What does he want more of? Did she say?
Yeah, maybe. Would you mind answering that? I'm a little confused. Give us some more clarity and we'll definitely answer. Jelly Brains. I love that name. So cool. The guy and I have known each other from a distance for months. We just met in person and I'm smitten. He's back in his home city now, but in a few weeks we'll be working together in close proximity. What's the question, Jilly? Is there a question?
I think we answered her question before. Maybe she's just giving more clarification.
Oh, thanks. Beautiful. Okay, Gladys Torres. Hi, Gladys. Nice to see you. Hi, guys. My name is Gladys, and I just broke off a new relationship I had with a guy that is a workaholic. Oh, my favorite topic. And is tired when he spends time with me, so he's begging for another chance. He doesn't get it that I want quality time, need advice.
Oh, you're at the perfect place. Okay, I want to hear what you have to say because you're like the expert on this topic, but you're at the perfect place. He's coming to you. Now you can kind of give your terms and conditions. I know it's like probably not the best way to put it, but it'd feel incredible to reconnect with you if that's what you want with him. I'm not exactly sure what you want. And in order for that to happen, here's what I would need. Similar to the question with the sex with the guy from 10 years ago. Here's what I would need. In order for me to, date you exclusively or to continue this connection, it would feel good to see you in person X amount of times a week or, be in contact just about every day or whatever it is you need. What do you have to say about that?
That is the advice. It is so important that this gets executed correctly. Write this down or replay this because this is the exact formula. Say, I love spending time with you. It would make me so happy if I could see you 2 times a week or 3 times a week. And then you're so much fun to hang out with. Would this be possible? And then shut up. Mm-hmm. And let him tell you if it's possible. And then hold him accountable. If he promises you the world, then let's see his actions.
Yeah.
Does he do it?
Yeah.
And just to kind of come backwards on this conversation, what I've found over the years is people usually sit in 2 buckets. They're either value career or they value like family life. And we used to like always dump on it. Well, men, career, women. Mm-hmm. But it's not that way anymore. It can be a man or a woman that values that. For example, although I, especially based on what I do, I guess they kind of mold together, but I value family and free time and interacting with my friends and so I'm not a career focused person. So I make time, but a work person, they have this bigger purpose And their number one is always going to be work, career, accomplishing that. And so if you are accepting of that as like, okay, he's got this thing that's his number one priority, and I'm always going to be number two. But when he's with me, he does make me feel like number one. But his goal is always this work thing, that career thing. And you accept that, then that's a partner that you can be with.
Because you're never going to compete with that, right? If you spend your life competing, I'm going to try and compete and fight for his time. You're like taking your life and just throwing it away. You're throwing all your energy down this bottomless pit because can you accept that? I love that. I love what you said. So good.
Thanks, Helena. You're the best. Did we want to go back to any of this, or do you guys want us to answer? Did you guys want us to go back to how to inspire a man to feel you in his heart, or answer more questions?
Yeah. Do you have any more questions about this topic or anything else? I feel like we, for those people joining, when this post, just rewind to the beginning, and we went over a lot of this.
Tiffany Zoe, I just want to validate you real quick. Tiffany Zoe, I wish I believed in love again. I know that sounds morose, but so many failed relationships, you start to think it's not for you. You know, most people probably went over this and go, oh, Tiffany's just negative. You know, I just want to say, like, thank you for sharing that.
Totally.
And I love that that's what you're feeling, and you felt comfortable to share that. That was all about being vulnerable.
I was just going to say that.
Yeah.
I was just going to say that. Yeah. Who hasn't felt that way? I've felt that way. Oh my gosh, so many times. We all have. That's a great example of what we're talking about. I get that. I feel that. So we've all been there. Do you have any advice for Tiffany?
Yeah, like, go have fun, and like, don't even worry about it. Go take a break. Like, all right, so it's not your focus right now. Go focus on yourself and have fun.
Yeah, don't force yourself down some lukewarm path, right? Wait until the path is red hot and then sprint down it, right? Yeah, focus on yourself. Don't try and force yourself to go on a bunch of dates you don't feel like going on. And we've all been there. Like, I totally get that. We've all felt that way.
It's so funny. You're gonna do this, and then like men are gonna come beating down your door.
It's so true.
They're like, wait, you don't want a relationship? Be in a relationship with me. It's just like funny how people want what they can't have, right?
Well, it's in your absence of this angst about like, oh my God, I can't find someone, all the men I'm attracted, in the absence of all of that energy, you're going to become actually super magnetic because you're just going to be focused on yourself, having fun, having a great life. Yeah, totally.
Yes. Oh boy, I lost my spot.
I wish I could see these. I keep looking over here at the...
Gladys, thank you. You guys know words of appreciation. You guys are crushing it. Feeling wonderful about myself. Donna, get back to the topic. Okay, Donna. We'll go to the topic for a minute, then we'll come back to questions. Donna, we got you.
This is so fun. Being over here. Where did we leave off?
So how to inspire a man in his heart.
We're on number 4.
You want to go to number 4?
Yeah, this is where we're at.
So how do women actually start executing? It's go time. Like, get in his heart, to feel you in his heart. How do we do that, Helena?
Yeah, this is all about authenticity, vulnerability. Just that, just like how Tiffany was actually displaying very beautifully. Even though you think you're being negative, that's what you're feeling and that's what you're expressing. So you want to do that always, right? Going back to the theme of this, the way to connect deeply with a man's heart is always through your own heart first. It is just the only way. If you're up in your head trying to stir something into creation or say something like, I'm going to strategically be vulnerable to like try to get him to open up, never going to work, right? And that's kind of like stage managed vulnerability, or like, that's when we hear like, oh, I tried this and it didn't work. Because if you're doing this to try to get a result from a man, you're shutting it down. But the opposite of that is, I am expressing who I am. I'm expressing what's going on with me and how I'm feeling, because this is who I am. I'm a warm, open, feminine energy woman, right? Authentic human being. And a man, the right man for you is going to see that. And so how do you do that? Start with things that have nothing to do with him. A lot of women take this to mean, talking about the relationship and getting in there and start talking about all your wants and needs. And that's not where you should start, at least not at first. You want to keep it all about yourself, your own feelings. Talk about how you felt a little anxious about this big presentation you had at work the other day, or how you feel really excited about your plans for the weekend, or how you felt when you came home and you saw your child's face or your pet's face, and like talk about how just some of these everyday moments in low risk situations. Then you can get a little bit more specific. You can talk about maybe a situation you're having with a family member or a friend that made you feel a little resentful or disappointed or heartbroken, and you're doing this without an expectation. Like, you're not doing it because you need this guy to comfort you in this moment. You're just sharing this because you want a deep, close, intimate relationship. You don't want a superficial relationship. How does that sound, just to start off?
Yeah, I really like that. I was listening and I was just thinking about how I'd feel so connected to that. Like those stories would just drive me closer. And instead of just like the fluff, it's like, and what I love about what you said is it's not about the relationship that quite frankly doesn't exist in this early stages. There is no relationship. This is the stuff that I like. If that resonates with you, cool. And once again, women, like, you guys are the queen of the castle. If he doesn't resonate with what you're putting down, like, that's great. See you later. Or maybe we can be friends, but that's not my partner. I want the guy who adores me.
Yeah. And you want to give this a little bit of runway. You know, I hear from women all the time, it's like, well, I tried this and it didn't work. Well, maybe the point of doing this is not to make a guy fall in love, strategically make him open up and get connected. The point is just sharing who you are and seeing what he does with that information. Most guys would be thrilled. They'd be like, oh my gosh, somebody who I can actually like have a real intimate conversation with. And he starts to open up more. And then, I don't know, I feel like we had a story with this, but it's not coming to me. I feel like we had an example about you open up a little bit, then the guy feels comfortable and safe to open up. And it's just like, you just get more intimate. The relationship goes deeper and deeper. Then when something happens, like if he does something that makes you feel upset, now you've kind of built that muscle and you can talk to him about it in a way that doesn't make him wrong, doesn't hold him responsible for your feelings. You're just, you can talk about, have some of these difficult conversations, talk about something he did that made you feel jealous or insecure or something like that. But you want to start with those kind of everyday moments. How do you feel about the weather today? Everyone can type that in, right? How do you feel watching this live stream? How did you feel at work this week? And start to build it that way. You might be surprised how difficult it is to do this right off the bat.
You know, I have a story about us that I want to tell. Is that all right?
Sure.
Here we go.
I'm nervous now.
As you should be. So, you know, our relationship started like a few years ago when it was just totally all business and we were not friends. And then as our friendship evolved, it became, you know, I was kind of testing to see what was allowed. And
really?
Oh yeah. Like, what can I say here that's acceptable? Okay. And that's what men do. We like poke the boundaries. And then we're trying to, you know, especially a woman that's like an expert dater, is when you finally reach her thing, she's going to tell you, but she'll do it in a nice way. She'll be like, oh, thanks for sharing that, but like, I prefer blah, blah. Anyway, so I kept like seeing what kind of weird stuff I could say that she was okay with. And at first it wouldn't be that bad. And she would kind of, you know, laugh. And then I just kept going up the ladder in terms of things I would say in front of her, like, you know, whether it be, you know, anything. And I realized that she made it safe. And so as I felt safe, that brought my walls down. And so much so that, like, I remember an evening out where I was feeling like really down on myself. I was, you know, on my man period and just having like a really bad night, and like no one wanted to interact with me, and I'm out and I just like in my head, just sad. And for me, like, I remember just telling her, I'm like, I feel really sad. And then, you know, this is my thing, but I have this thing where I think it's weird if a man puts his head like on a woman's shoulder, because like that should be where a woman's spot is. Like, I'm the big man, like I protect. And I just felt so safe with my friend Helena that I literally just like kind of put my head.
I remember this now.
And I said, I'm really sad.
Yeah. Oh, it like broke my heart.
And then she gave me a hug.
Yes, I know. I totally remember that. And yeah, if I hadn't been open in other, I don't know if this was before or after, but I don't know. Some of you guys know I've coming out of a probably one of the deepest like depressive states I've been in the past 3 weeks. I'm like just starting to come out of it. And so this was maybe before that, where we were out doing something, or it was maybe like 3 weeks ago. And I was like trying to have a good time. And Mike just looks at me and he's like, this is the saddest I've ever seen you. Do you remember that? And I was like, because you can't hide it. Like, I'm like, I know it's been hard. It's been hard for me to even get out of bed. And this is like the first time I've even like been able to have the energy to get up. So like we have that close friendship, like we have that. So if I hadn't been so open and so accepting, and he probably wouldn't feel safe to do that. You might do that with a newer friend or someone you're not so close with, and they'd be like, oh, like what's wrong with this guy? But I was like, oh my gosh, like it kind of made me want. I think I like bought him a pizza or something to try and make him feel better.
It worked.
I was like, we're gonna go buy you some pizza. We're gonna cheer you up, and that's like totally what he would do. I don't know if he'd buy me a pizza to cheer me up, but when a woman does this, when she opens up and she feels safe. Does that not, as a man, make you feel like you can kind of do that as well?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and so it really started. It was a long progression. Like as you guys can imagine, any friendship, any relationship, like we're both kind of tiptoeing a little bit, but then she starts opening up about things she's vulnerable about, which makes me open up about things I'm vulnerable about. But typically what I think works the best is the women almost has to go first in this, because
totally, yeah,
women typically, and not all the time, are just better at expressing their emotions and better at communicating. We know that women on average say 20,000 words, men say 7,000. So when she starts the process, he's like, wait a second, I can communicate, I can say these things. And so then when she feels vulnerable or is vulnerable and tells a story, then I can do it. And then all of a sudden we we're together. We're a team. I know your stuff. You know my stuff. So when these things trigger, I've got your back. Like, hey, Mike, I know you're upset right now. Let's go get a pizza. And I'm like, oh, she cares about me. Like someone is here for me. I actually have a teammate.
Totally. And I feel like that. I had no idea that you were like pushing, seeing what you could say. I'm like, when did that happen? I wasn't even
all the time, nonstop.
I was like, when was that going on? I just had no idea.
Every day.
Yeah. So hopefully that was helpful. I don't know if our personal stories are helpful at all. I know we tend to like be hesitant about sharing certain things, but hopefully that was helpful for you guys.
Yeah. Was that helpful?
Yeah. Let us know.
Or should we just never tell our stories?
We're fine with that too.
Yeah,
we get nervous. Yeah, we get nervous about that. It's warm in here.
It's so hot.
I'm dripping sweat. I feel
Let's
my hair
do
is
one or two more questions.
Yeah, absolutely. No, I'm
folks.
good. We can.
And then we'll pop off because it's going on for a while. Wow, you guys are still here. I love all of you.
I know.
Thank you.
Guys are the best.
All right. Oh man, I lost my spot. How does a man make a woman happy when the man struggles to feel happy? Oh, make a woman. How does a man, I love this question. Loco Gamer 12. How does a man make a woman happy when the man struggles to feel happy?
So, that's a great question.
You want to answer?
No, go ahead. I'll answer after you.
All right. So first of all, we all know that happiness comes from in here. So you get to decide when you're happy. I was talking to this woman today and she goes, how are you today? I'm like, I'm freaking amazing. And she's like, I'm all right. I'm like, no, you're amazing. I'm like, how are you feeling? She's like, all right, I'm amazing. I'm like, you decide when you're amazing. Are you amazing? She's like, I'm amazing. And I'm like, now we're talking. Now let's talk. Now that we know that you're amazing, let's do it. This was a sales call, or she was thinking to come to the client. I wanted her to be happy, and I wanted to, she can be there. She can choose right now to feel amazing. We can choose to feel and be amazing. Anyway, I digress. Things about relationships, I think the most important thing for me is we think like, all right, the person's sad, let me do things for them. But in fact, as men, we need to build testosterone, and that's through completing tasks and doing things. So instead, contribute to her. Hopefully she knows what she wants. You'd make me so happy if you took me on a date. You'd make me so happy if you took out the garbage. You'd make me so happy if you got me a water. And you start doing things, and then you start getting appreciative. She gets appreciating you. Sometimes they can take you out of a little funk where you're like, oh, I am useful. Maybe you just got canned from your job and you're sitting at home and you live together and she's now providing for all the bills. Well, now you're like, oh, I got her the water. I did the garbage. I got the groceries. And like, that's contributing. And then maybe you cook her this amazing dinner and she's like, geez, this isn't so bad. Like, I like you at home, and like, you're so sexy, and like, thanks for cooking this.
That's totally
so
it.
doing activities. Sorry, what were you going to say about this?
I was just like saying, oh my God, that's so great. I'm like, Joy, want to jump in and say how brilliant that is. Yeah, he wants to feel like a man is basically it. Totally. He wants to feel like a man. I love you always talk about completing tasks, builds his testosterone. He wants to come back in. If a man is depressed, he's already feeling terrible about himself. So your like attention on him makes him feel worse, right? Makes him want to just back off in the corner and just like you like go hide under a blanket. I totally understand that. It's almost like if you like had a big pimple on your face and it is like exposed, you don't want people to look at you, or so you're like bloated or something, you feel self-conscious. That's how men feel when their self-esteems are low, when they're going through something hard, when they're depressed. So maybe take your focus, don't focus so hard on him. Maybe just take that focus off of him. And then when he does something, when he makes some kind of masculine move towards you, like what you said, cooks you dinner, it could be hands you a napkin or a glass of water, like, oh my gosh, thank you so much. Make him feel appreciated, make him feel sexy, make him feel like he's your man. That's going to go a long way, rather than talking about what's going on with him and trying to, provide solutions. Right.
Oh, I'm so glad you brought that up. Yeah. Don't make him talk about it. That's just most men, some men feel better by talking. So you need to ask them, do you feel better by talking or worse? And hopefully he can tell you. But most men, when they talk, it produces estrogen. And if he can't solve the problem because he doesn't know how to, it just makes him more and more depressed by talking about it. Versus, women, you're like, that doesn't make any sense. When I talk about it, I usually feel better. That's not how men work. We talk estrogen, more sad. Us as action completing tasks makes us feel better.
It's so true. Gosh, that's so true. That's good.
Thank you.
Anything else?
Oh, let's do Luann.
Okay.
Sorry if we missed some of these.
You can post them down in the comments after this post too. We can go through and answer.
Luann, I have a new boyfriend of about 2 months who is a total sweetheart. Oops, lost you in my spot. We still haven't said I love you to each other. How do I get him to feel strong enough for me to say it first? I've been staying in my feminine energy, and he comes towards me more so than any other man has.
She says something else?
Luann, thank you for both your guidance. I almost gave up on online dating to find someone who wants to marry and kids. So you met Eric, and he asked for okay, so exclusive dating for 2 months.
Oh, yes. Awesome.
Let's go, Luann. Good job.
Love it. So good. Yes, that makes me happy.
2 months dating, wants him to say I love you or her. What does she do?
I mean, it's an interesting one. I totally understand that, wanting to hear those words. What if you just gave yourself a timeline? Go, I'm not going to worry about this. I'm not going to think about this for the next 3 months. Just don't even, right? Because it's that focus on it that I have had a client in the past, this most amazing, wonderful woman. I love her so much. She was very focused on this one thing, and I'm like, he has no idea that this is like this thing that you're all wrapped up in. So your intense focus, I'm not saying you're doing this, Luann, but just in general for anyone watching, your intense focus on it's not happening. How do I get this happening? See that in your energy, it's this energy of lack. What if you just gave yourself, I'm not even going to worry about this for the next 6 months. Give yourself just some timeline. I promise it'll happen. It'll happen when you probably least expect it. Just don't focus on the fact it's not happening. It's only been 2 months. I think it's still pretty early. I know how great hearing those words feels, but focus on the other ways that he does show that he cares about you. A lot of men they aren't like, they're not verbally expressive, but they show you in a million other ways by all the things they do for you, by showing up consistently, by texting you good morning, by saying, call me when you get home so I know you're safe. There's lots of ways he could show you his love for you without actually saying it. And the more you focus on those and not focus on how do I get him to do this one thing he's not doing, the faster and easier it's going to happen. What do you think?
I think that's like the best advice I've ever heard. I love that.
That's good.
Yeah, I would like focus on the abundance and just be appreciative. Like be appreciative of what he does provide. Like we've been talking about this all live stream. Like men are not so great at expressing their feelings for the most part. So there's a good chance like he's been kind of like, man, I kind of want to say this. I'm a little nervous. I'm a little scared. Because like you've been dating for 2 months, which is not that long in the grand scheme of dating. So maybe he's a little nervous. Like, is she going to say it back? Is she not? So if you just keep appreciating him and enjoying your time together and just having this beautiful relationship, it's going to come if you're having fun.
Totally. Yeah.
And like, to your point, just like just lean back and enjoy. As long as the relationship's good, like it's coming.
What is he doing, Luann, and everyone watching who's in this situation? I hear about this all the time. What is he doing? How is he showing that he cares about you? How is he showing his love for you? Focus on those things. And again, give yourself a timeline. Like I'm going to, for the next month or two, I'm not even going to worry about this. I'm just going to completely take my focus off of it.
Yes. All right, guys. Yeah. If you have any other questions, pop them in there and we'll answer it. But once again, if you want the dream team to help you get an amazing relationship, if you're single, get into one, this is your time. We got you. Go sign up for a phone call with me and we'll walk you down, hold your hand. And like, it's so crazy to me. Could you, like, why are we dating by ourselves? Like, imagine going on a bad date. You come home and you're like, man, that sucked. Like, why don't we have a support team? Why don't we have people that we can literally ask questions to and show up to meetings and like not get like your girlfriend's advice or something? Like I'm talking about expert advice where we've spent the last 15, 20 years of our life literally just like reading books on this topic, experiencing it. This is all we do. This is all we're focused on. Every day while you're at work, we're like learning dating and relationship stuff. And we just want to help you and get everyone that wants love, and honestly, just better relationships. I'm so tired of hearing about in the US, the divorce rate's 50%, second divorce over 70%. That's because we don't have the tools, because we never, we hire doctors, we hire lawyers, but we don't hire relationship coaches. But everyone here is proactively trying to fix this. So let us truly help you where we've got a documented systematic process to take you from A to B. Versus this is just like scrambled. Well, we've spent 10 years building a methodology that will walk you through the process. And of course, specifically cater it to exactly what you need. Like, let's go have that white glove experience where we take care of you.
Yeah. I love everything you said. I'm thinking about all the areas in my life. You get support, you get, a personal trainer, you have a doctor, you have help in all other areas. And support in between dates is so important. So true. I love everything you said. And Mike, you guys want Mike on your team. Mike is like, everyone needs a Mike Goldstein in their life. I always say that.
Helena.
No, everybody needs a Mike in their life. I said, this is like, what is this? January 2020. Best thing to happen to me in 2019 was Mike moving out here. Best, by far, hands down, best thing to ever happen to me was Mike moving here, because my whole life changed in such a good way. And so, everyone needs Mike on their team. It's just, he makes life so good. So good. Yeah.
Everyone should rewind and see my smile. You're going to have to rewatch this.
Really?
I'm such words of appreciation. And she's just like compliments me and makes me feel so good.
It's like, I'm not even trying to be nice. Like, that is just the truth. So, Mike is the best.
Imagine like her on your team, like teaching you this femininity. Like, men are just going to be like, yes, please. Like, and like, can I marry you? Or can I be your life partner? Like, that's the energy that she has. And that's, what she can provide to you. And it's night and day. Like, I know when I meet women that have had some training, it's just like, I gravitate towards them. The ones without training, I'm just like, I want to get to know you. You probably have other amazing things to offer. But like, if you know some of this femininity stuff, just like, give me more. I want more. Like, come here. Like, can I be around you?
That. Yeah.
Like, I feel more masculine around you. I feel safer. I feel able to be more vulnerable. That's what she gives to our relationship, and she gives to her clients. And it's just men just like feel you in their heart.
I love that. I love hearing that too. Because we were talking about that earlier, right? Like how if a man is kind of growth oriented, the kind of guy you want, who's maybe spiritual, who's in touch with his emotions, he's gonna want someone who is working on themselves too, right? Yeah.
All right. Should we leave? Do you remember how to do the easy dating handshake?
You're gonna have to probably remind me.
I got you, guys. Okay. This is the easy dating handshake. You come in. Oh no, it's like this. I'm sorry. Hand hug.
Okay.
Hand hug. We're hand hugging. Twirl it. Give me the thumb.
Oh, I remember now.
Make a heart.
Yeah, that's what it is. Remember?
And then beat it.
Yeah. He taught this to my grandmother, my 90-year-old grandmother, and now she does it with everybody. So funny. Yes, I love it. So good.
All right, guys.
Yeah, this was so fun. Thank you so much. Oh my gosh, I love your audience. You guys are amazing. Go head over to my YouTube channel. I'd love to have all these amazing questions and comments. Like, you guys are so great, so great. I love your people.
Hey
so
guys,
amazing.
if you want more Helena, just send me a message and I will give you a link to her YouTube channel. She's super famous, like millions and millions of views. I'm not joking. She actually does.
That's funny.
Like she's a goddess of YouTube. Anyway, everyone, thank you for spending some Friday with us.
Yeah, this was fun. We should do this again. I feel good. I'm like dripping sweat, you guys. I'm like, my hair is like, I'm like a mess right now. I think last time we had the fan
you
on.
look gorgeous.
No, you're so sweet. Next time we'll set it up a little better. But this was so much fun. I would love to come back and do some more. This was great. Phenomenal.
Yeah. We'll get some air conditioning.
Yeah, I know, right?
All right, guys. Thank you.
Yeah. Have a great weekend too. Have a great weekend.
See you soon.
Yeah, we'll talk to you soon.
Bye. Come join the dream team.
That was fun.
Oh boy. We can do this every time.